Joining us now is Republican Congressman Brian Mast of Florida. He's the only member of Congress to serve in both the U.S. Army and the Israeli Defense Forces. Joins us now. Congressman, thanks for the time. Your thoughts, first of all, on this broadly, and then what the U.S. is poised potentially to do.
Yeah, danger on a number of different fronts. That's one of the more general thoughts from the north. Obviously, we have the U.S. dealing with the Med. You're hoping nothing lights off in the West Bank, but obviously that's a risk as well. And then thank God that we have these American assets, literally the most capable most capable assets to rescue hostages anywhere, SEAL Team 6 and our Delta operators.
Congressman, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what you've learned about Iran's involvement or non-involvement. I understand the administration is saying that they don't see one.
I can't speak to things that I've heard in classified briefings, so I have to say this carefully. There's always what's possible and what's probable. I and most of my colleagues consider it highly probable. We know that they've spoken themselves about involvement in planning that they've taken part in. We know that they're huge supporters of Hamas, of Hezbollah, of Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, of Palestinian Islamic Jihad. These connections exist, even just to the point of moving these thousands of rockets the size of Suburbans from where they may be manufactured in a place like Iran through Syria, through Lebanon, to get them into the Gaza Strip, and very likely using those same networks, and let's pray to God this isn't happening, to move hostages in the reverse route and get them out of Gaza and possibly into those other places.
Congressman, we were just talking about how you're a member of the U.S. Army, and the Israeli Defense Forces. I mean, that's a unique perspective that you have, as Israel is calling up some 300,000 reservists. I mean, talk about that, and from your perspective, having served.
You go back to 2014, and I made a pilgrimage to volunteer alongside the IDF, put on their uniform, and it was an experience of a lifetime. And this is what they train for and deal with, that their enemy, in so many cases, surrounds them, is in a situation where they could literally travel across the country, if not stopped in a matter of 45 minutes across the breadth of Israel. They could march across. And when you look at the effect on every Israeli family, it's this. You go there over a Shabbat, and you realize that every family is waiting for a son, a daughter, a grandson, a granddaughter to come home for that Shabbat dinner, because every family is affected by service. All of these reservists being called up, young, old, playing their role, picking up their rifle, pulling out their uniform out of the closet, and doing what they can to protect for their very existence, because that is what is on the line.
Congressman, earlier on the show, we had some video of Hillary Vaughn, our reporter from Fox Business, trying to get Congresswoman Tlaib to answer some basic questions, like why she has a Palestinian flag outside of her office, why she won't comment on the evidence of babies being beheaded. And I wondered if you could talk about the breadth or scope. Is it small? Is it getting larger? Of anti-Israeli sentiment there in the Congress?
I think it's systemic, the scope of anti-Israeli sentiment, and in many cases people are too naive about how they do this. When you hear somebody talking about a two-state solution, I've been a long-time critic of this, you're talking about making a nation out of these very people that just conducted that attack. When you talk about using the Palestinian Authority and trying to say that they should not be conflated alongside of Hamas, well, this is an entity that we've yet to see that any of them were working immediately to stop the Hamas fighters in that moment from taking hostages or to prevent the attack, or that they gave any intelligence to prevent this attack from taking place. And you go back years and years and say, what has the Palestinian Authority done to bring all of the Hamas fighters, if you choose to separate them in that way, to any kind of justice? And they have not. So when you see members of Congress stepping up to say you should make a separate state out of that, or saying that the Palestinian Authority is somehow better and not of the same ilk, that is that soft on terror, soft on the brutality that is them. That's part of what has allowed this to happen. It's that camel's nose under the tent. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.